All right, today we're jumping into 4.2 Tools and Techniques for Continuous Improvement. This is based on material from EasyPathUni by Coordinations with Yazan Ibrahim. We're going to explore how you take your anti-bribery programs from something that just exists on paper to something that's actually alive, effective, and resilient out in the real world.
So you've put in the work. You built out your anti-bribery program, you've checked all the boxes, you think you're done, right? Well, here's the question you've got to ask yourself. Is it really failure-proof? Because, having a program written down is one thing, but making sure it can handle the pressure when things get real, that's a whole other ballgame.
And that's exactly where this idea of continuous improvement comes in. Look, this isn't about some one-and-done fix. It's about a systematic, ongoing effort to always get better, to constantly fine-tune your policies and controls. It's about shifting from a static defense to a dynamic one that's always learning.
Okay, so something goes wrong. It happens. Now what? Where do you even begin? Well, the very first step is to start thinking like an investigator. You've got to look right past the immediate problem and start digging for the real why, the actual root cause of what went wrong.
The tool for this is called root cause analysis, or RCA. And the key thing to get here is that RCA isn't about just fixing the symptom you can see on the surface. Nope, it's about digging way deeper to find and fix the fundamental reason the failure happened to begin with.
Now, there are a couple of great ways to do this. The two most common are the 5 whys technique, which is just beautiful in its simplicity, and the fishbone diagram, which helps you sort of categorize all the potential causes. For today, we're going to focus on the first one.
Okay, let's make this real. Imagine your audit team finds an unrecorded facilitation payment, basically a small bribe. We can use the 5 whys to peel back the layers and see how this actually happened. Let's start digging.
Why number 1? Why wasn't this payment recorded? Simple answer, a staff member just went around the official accounts system completely. Okay, but that's just the surface, right? That's the symptom.
So, why number 2? Why did they feel they had to bypass it? Turns out, the system has no procedure at all for recording payments when someone's offline or out in the field. Ah, now we're getting somewhere. This is shifting from a person problem to a process problem.
Let's ask again. Why number 3? Why wasn't there an offline procedure in place? And the answer is, the local office had absolutely no idea it was even a corporate policy requirement. And just like that, in 3 questions, we've gone from a single dodgy payment to uncovering a massive communication and training gap. That is the root cause.
So the key is to turn this into a formal process. It really just has 4 steps. First, you define the incident. Be super specific about what happened. Then you assemble a team from different departments because you absolutely need those different viewpoints. Next, you drill down using a method like the 5 whys to find that source. And finally, you implement new controls that actually fix the root cause you just found.
Okay, let's move on to our next tool. Once you know why things are failing, you've got to figure out where they're most likely to happen. This is all about mapping out your weak spots.
And we do this with process maps. They usually come in 2 flavors. You've got your high-level map, which gives you that 30,000-foot view of the big stages, but the detailed swim lane diagram, that's where the magic really happens. It shows you exactly who, procurement, finance, compliance, is responsible for what at every single little step. It's perfect for spotting those dangerous handoff points or gaps in who's watching the store.
And making one of these isn't nearly as scary as it sounds. You just follow 5 basic steps. First, pick a high-risk process, like bringing on a new third party. Classic example. Then, get all the right people in a room. From there, you just document every single activity and decision. Then you draw the map itself. And finally, the whole team analyzes it to hunt for those hidden gaps and weaknesses.
Okay, so you found the why with RCA and the where with process mapping. Now for the big one. How do you actually implement, test, and lock in those improvements so they stick? This brings us to the never-ending cycle of improvement. And this is all powered by the PDCA cycle. Plan, do, check, act. It is such a simple but incredibly powerful framework. In the plan phase, you set your goals and figure out how you'll measure success. Then you do it. You roll out the new controls, you do the training. Next, and this is crucial, you check. You monitor everything, you audit, you see if it's actually working. And finally, you act. You standardize what works, and then, and this is the most important part, you start the cycle all over again. It truly never stops.
All right, now for what I think is the most important part. These aren't just 3 separate tools you pick from a toolbox. Their real power, their real magic is unlocked when you use them together as one single dynamic defense system.
And here's how it all fits together so perfectly. Step 1, you use your process map to see your entire workflow and pinpoint the riskiest spots. Step 2, when a failure inevitably happens at one of those weak points, you deploy root cause analysis to figure out the deep down reason why. And step 3, you use that beautiful PDCA cycle to systematically implement, test, and permanently embed the solution. It's a powerful, self-improving loop.
So to wrap this all up, let's just lock in some key best practices. Always leverage cross-functional teams. You need those different perspectives. Anchor your improvements in real, measurable data, not just gut feelings. You have to maintain management oversight, and maybe most importantly, foster a culture where people feel safe to speak up. And of course, aligning with standards like ISO 37001 is going to help keep you on the right path.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Ask yourself this: is your compliance program reactive, always looking in the rearview mirror at messes you have to clean up? Or is it proactive, using these tools to constantly scan the road ahead for risks before they turn into disasters? The answer to that question really makes all the difference.